So you're working a lot with an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
What do you do when you're helping them to shift? Like, are you looking at their business? Are you having them, get onto sales calls with you? How's that process kind of work? Because, we talk a lot about, like you say, the book knowledge. Everybody can read the book. We know people know, like, and trust. What are you doing that you feel is different in terms of helping people know how to build trust? How to become that person that people, know. How do you do that?
Yeah, so great question. When I'm working with sales professionals, is when we cover a lot of that, what you just mentioned near the end of your question there. When I'm working with entrepreneurs, as you asked earlier, we have to go a few steps before that. So I have to take a look at their systems. I have to essentially do an audit of their business, look at their current processes, systems, scripts, everything that happens within that business, what they're doing, what their goals and targets are, what their main challenges are, and then really look at how I can actually bring them value and change things for them and move the needle. That's what I look at. So there is no one shoe fits all. There is no one advice for everybody. Anybody who tells you that is trying to sell you something and they're full of it. So I hate when I hear that because it's just not real. And I feel like a lot of younger people, again, because I've been in those shoes. And then when I was in management positions, a majority of my sales teams were anywhere from 18, 20, 24, 26, younger men and women. And I just realized like how impressionable they are, as I was. But thankfully I was a lot more conscious. I was always very focused on playing my own game. I took everything with a grain of salt, and I just have this very stubborn personality, which played in my favor, right? I don't listen to just anybody. It could be God coming down from the sky and telling me something. I'm gonna have to think about it myself and cross-reference it and double check it and whatnot. And if it's my own decision, then I'll do it.
That bleeds itself into other areas of my life. I'm in a great relationship right now, but, like, there'll be data or research that comes out right now. We're not going to get into that today, but
Right.
stuff comes my way and I'm like, I need to think about that. And it's like, what? And I'm like, look, it's just years and years and years of hearing a lot of great information and having to really figure out what was actually going to work for me.
Right. Exactly. So, on that same note, thankfully, I was lucky enough to think like that, and somebody like yourself as well. But unfortunately, most people aren't, and especially most young people aren't. They're
Mhm.
just too naive to the whole thing. So then you have these figures who get on social media or are
Mhm.
part of certain companies, and they'll be preaching certain things, and it's a very like one shoe fits all. This is how to live. This is how to work. This is how it should be, and it's just unfortunate to see. So my point is, first things first, when I'm working with sales professionals and entrepreneurs, there is no one shoe fits all. Everybody has their own challenges, their own struggles and things like that. And it's kind of the 80-20 principle, right? You want to look at the 20% that's going to make the difference of the 80%
Mhm.
in their results. So that's really what I look at. I hope that answers your question, but
It does.
that's
It
really
does.
what
And
it
I,
is.
I really just kind of want to drive it home because I know that this is going to attract, the person who feels like they're maybe kind of sort of stuck or they're haven't quite hit that next level. How do you go from, I mean, you and I both know that it's never about the price. Price is always a question of value,
Mhm.
which I just love. People are like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it's just not. If people will pay for the thing that they realize that is going to benefit in their life. And the problem is that we always sell, the future, right? And we're usually selling from a space with us. Like, I mean, when I'm working with salespeople, they say, well, I have to believe in it first. And I was like, I could sell you something that I don't believe in if I can believe in something about it, whether it's, the company or the mindset or whatever, because obviously integrity matters. People can feel
Mhm.
that. But do I have to be using a single particular product, right? Driving a particular car in order to be able to sell you on the value for your life? No, because I can ask you enough questions. And I want to bring this up because tell me this. I feel like not enough salespeople are asking enough questions.
Mhm.
Because questions are like magic. People love to tell you everything.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, what I'm a big proponent of is what I like to call conversational selling. You're really just having a conversation.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong, it's not as simple as just having a conversation and anybody can just have a conversation. There are many layers to it, and you have to know the sales process, you have to know what you're doing, and there's a lot of things that go into that conversation. But that being said, if the entire thing can be just a real genuine conversation and focusing on their main problems and how you can help them with your product or service, then you can really lead somebody to the close and getting the deal done and having that win-win scenario. And it usually happens where when you master this type of selling, at the end of it, you'll have people tell you, wow, I never expected to buy anything, or I don't even know how we got here, but sure, let's do it. Might as well, or you're good. You'll hear things like that. And, when that becomes a common theme, that's when you know
Yeah.
you're doing it right.